Hey y'all, this is Sergeant Dan, Palmetto Edge. Got another knife for ya. Woo! Yay! I love knives, guys. It's an addiction. I like to call it. At first, I like to say I really like knives, but let's be honest, it's an addiction. Okay, I'm admitting that right here, right now. The first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem, and I have a problem. Except I'm not going to seek recovery for it because it's just too fun of a problem to have. So what I have here now is the Spyderco Native 5. We will start out like I usually do with trying not to get such a glare for you. Come on, work with me here, Spyderco. It's not going to do it, guys. Sorry, I tried. Start out with some size comparisons. Let's compare it to its bigger brother here, the Paramilitary 2. Not bigger brother, I'll call him his bigger cousin. How about that? Yeah. Brother from another mother. There we go. Still got some of the same genetics, but not all the same ones. So, yeah, brother from another mother. Let's see what else. I know I always go for these two, but Spyderco. Guys, it's been one of those days. Bear with me here, please. Benchmade 940 Osborne. You can see the natives, a good bit smaller, shorter than both of those. Let's get something a little closer to its size in here. Go with the Kaiser Mini Sheepdog, and you can see it's bigger than the Kaiser Mini Sheepdog. So you've got you a good EDC sized blade here in this thing right here, the daggone y'all, sorry, the Native 5. So let's get to some of the specifications of this one here. Where do I start? Where should I start? So you can see that it is S35 VN on that steel. CPM S35 VN. I think now. I don't think this was some kind of special edition one. This one was a gift, and I'll get to that eventually here when I get into the review. I think now these are all S30V instead of the S35 VN. Don't quote me on that, okay? So I can't say that for sure, but it's this one in particular is CPM S35 VN, which is one of my top 5, easily one of my top 5 favorite steels. But dadgummit, I'm getting into review stuff when I'm trying to give you specifications. Forgive me. It is 3 inches of S35 VN steel. Overall length is 6.8 inches, almost 6.9 inches. It like most other, or not most other, but like a whole ton of other Spydercos, is a flat grind, drop point style, satin finish on this one, and it's a, dang, there I go again trying to review it in specifications. Satin finish on this one. Handle length, this is 4 inches, this is 3 inches, so you get almost 7-inch blade there. As far as the clip goes, this is a truly ambidextrous knife. You can have it tip down, tip up, right hand or left hand, all configurations. So you lefties out there, here's you a totally ambidextrous knife that you can carry totally left-handed without any issues. It is a lockback design as opposed to a compression lock, which lockbacks are some of the most solid locking mechanisms on knives anyway, so I mean I'm not complaining about it, but USA made. Let's see, as you can see, Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. That's always a great plus for me when it comes to knives, is USA made. I don't care what company it is. USA made is always a huge thumbs up, huge plus for me. Let's see. Any more specifications I want to give you here? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, yes, the scales. The scales are FRN, and which means fiberglass reinforced nylon. It's just some kind of a fancy plastic, and it's Spyderco's bi-directional pattern here, which means that I think that's what they call it, bi-directional, which means that it's in two directions. It is textured, and it is, you got it. When you got this knife, you got it. And that's the whole purpose of their bi-directional pattern and texturing here. So, all right, I keep wanting to try and jump into review, so let's go ahead and do that. Like I said at first, or earlier anyway, this knife was a gift. My wife got me this knife for birthday, Christmas, Father's Day. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what she got it for me for. And this knife was completely off of my radar. I didn't know this knife existed. It certainly wasn't on any kind of wish list that I had. I knew nothing about this knife until she gave it to me. And I tell her every time I have this knife in my pocket that you gave me something that I didn't know that I needed. This has been a surprise to me, especially with as into knives as I am, for this one to fly under the radar for me, and for her to show up with it and be like, here you go, happy whatever. And as you can see, this one is not a high-speed, low-drag tactical knife like many of my other ones tend to be. Okay, so it was that, and that might very well be part of the reason why it was off of my radar, was because of that. And not saying I don't look at those kind of knives, but yeah. So this was a knife that I needed and didn't realize it. Man, this knife, every time I go to work, this knife is in my pocket. It's in one of my pockets. This is a knife that I carry at work, and I can't really say that I carry it anywhere else. I don't usually carry it when I'm at home. I don't usually carry it when I'm off work, but 5 out of 7 days of the week, this knife is in my pocket. And I'd say a good 3 or 4 of those 5, it's getting use. Nothing tactical, nothing crazy, but if I have to, use a pocket knife for what a pocket knife's supposed to be used, well, not supposed to be used for, it gets common pocket knife use. Cutting zip ties off things, cutting packaging open, cutting paper, okay, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of use that this knife gets. And I'd say it's in my pocket 5 out of 7 days of the week. It gets that kind of use 3 or 4 out of 7 days of the week, okay? It fits great in my hand. Let me rephrase that. I say it fits great. It fits good in my hand. I don't have any real major complaints, although if you'll see when I grab it, this swell right here does sit kind of right on that knuckle. But if I choke up on it and use this front finger choil here, everything just kind of falls into place where it's supposed to be. Okay, so if I hold it back on nothing but the handle, it doesn't quite line up right. If I choke up on the finger choil, it does. Okay, this bi-directional pattern from Spyderco is absolutely awesome. I love it. It prevents you from getting something slick like this, which I'm not complaining about this at all. Don't get me wrong on that. And gives you something different than just some rough G10. Anyone that has a Spyderco Delica, just your standard Delica or standard Endura, this is the same kind of thing that's on them, okay? So just to give you an idea of that. And it's called bidirectional because it grabs in both directions here, both this way and this way, and it grabs. If you're locked into this knife, it's not going anywhere. If you're locked in good, it's not going anywhere. The pocket clip is one of Spyderco's three 3 screw clips that kind of go around the pivot or the lanyard hole, whichever way you have it. I think this knife came with the pocket clip up here with it in the tip up orientation. I don't remember what prompted me to put it in the tip down, but I got no complaints about it that way. I'm not someone that refuses to have a knife in tip down orientation. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple that I prefer that way, just because of the way I reach in and pull them out of my pocket. My Boker here is an example of one of those. That now this one actually came in the tip down orientation, but I've left it that way, but just because of the way that I reach into my pocket and pull it out. I prefer it on that one, and I like it on this one. Not saying I prefer it this way, but I like it this way. Something prompted me to change it this way, and I like it this way, and that's how I've kept it. As I said earlier, CPM S35 VN steel, which is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful steel in my opinion. Like I said, one of my top 5. It holds an edge for a long time, and it's also not super, super hard to put an edge on it, in my experience, in my opinion. It's so corrosion resistant, rust resistant, all that kind of stuff. I've got no complaints on it as far as that goes. My little Spidey hole was dirty there. Sorry, just cleaning it out. You'll never guess what was in it. Pollen. Welcome to South Carolina this time of year, people. Lockback, which I said earlier, which is a very, very strong lockup. I don't know that you could, in normal use, in even slightly aggressive use, I don't think you could make that fail. The shape of the blade is wonderful. It's this drop point, but it's kind of a spear leaf. Anyone that has a Spyderco knows you can stab and you can slice with one of these. And the way they have this one made where you can choke up on it and get right up in there, you can do some fine detailed work with this thing. So I mean, that's all the great things I have to say about it. It's a smaller blade, not tiny, but also not big, not huge. So I mean, that's all the good stuff I've got to say about it. One complaint I have about it, one in particular that just comes to mind right off the bat, is a complaint that I have about every single Spyderco that I've seen in person, held in person, owned, and that is Spyderco just absolutely refuses to do a sharpening choil on their blades. Why? Why, Spyderco? Why do you do that? I mean, you don't need anything huge. Just make the sharpening edge start, here, as opposed to bringing it all the way over here. I don't understand why Spyderco does that, but they do, and that's their decision. I mean, as you can see, it doesn't keep me from buying Spyderco knives. Okay, and you can see with this one, it gets use. Okay, so it doesn't keep me from buying them. It's just a complaint I have. So, all right, let's get into my pricing on this thing. I think my wife paid right at $100 for this one, and I think that's still about where they are. Blade HQ, I think they're just under 100. They're like 95. They're like 95, 96, 97, 98, somewhere around there. So would I pay that for this? After having one now, yes. Like I said to begin with, I didn't even know this knife existed till it was gifted to me. But now that I know about it, would I pay that for one? Yeah, I would. And as a matter of fact, they've got some more expensive models with different handle material. I think they make some in their compression lock. Different handle material, different blade steels. Heck, I'd even buy one of those. I think they make one in S110V with blue G10 handles or something like that, or I think they also make one in S110V with still this style of handle. But yeah, these come in all kinds of steels, handle materials, colors, things like that. I would probably even buy one of the more expensive ones, to be honest with you, because like I said, this is a knife that now needs to be in my collection that I didn't know needed to be there in the first place. So if something were to happen to this one, would I replace it? Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, I would even replace it with one of the other iterations of it. One of the ones that's got maybe G10 handles or the S110V steel. Not, I say that, but I like the S35VN, but I don't think they make them in this steel anymore. I think this model has gone to S30V instead of S35VN. But yeah, I would definitely look into replacing this one because it is a good EDC knife. Good, you want a good pocket knife. If you want a good pocket knife without wanting something that you have to deploy fast, or that has, I'm not calling the Axis lock gimmicky. Okay, I love the Axis lock, but that has just your standard pocket knife feel. You slide it open, you got a knife, you use the knife, you close it back two-handed. Okay, this is a perfect option for you. Absolutely perfect option. And at under $100 for the standard model like this one, you won't be upset. You won't be upset at all with that. So if you're looking for a standard pocket knife of a known quality company for under $100, here you go. Spyderco Native 5. You can't go wrong with it. You just can't. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I'll have some more videos coming out for you soon. I still got a lot of knives to go through, people. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.